new building and helping us get the whole roof put in, things like that. GBC became a new banking partner as well. We got some representation here over this room, and Erin just joined our board.
Yes.
So Erin's sitting at the table there. She's a new board member. Again, we're going to call it out Dr. Amy and Mr. Doug. Tempo told me that, hey, if I put in the time and I paid that kind of money to get that title, I'm using it. So I'm not Dr. Michael. And then new one here, State Farm, Brandon Davis. Brandon, I saw Brandon back there.
Yep.
He's a little upset, just like Terry was when we didn't have cake mixes out there for sale. I'm sorry, Bill. I guess I should have brought the cake mix.
Well, I asked him about the cake mix, and he says they're just going to have to come to the bakery.
But also, you saw the whole room for the auction stuff. There's all those hot
And we also now have icing mixes to go with the cake
And
mix.
they are on eBay, so they, so in California, you can share them too.
Yes.
So then we'll go into our copper sponsors. We got Koosman. I saw Ron and Mary. Where are you, darling?
There they are, darling.
Hey, darling. I love you. I kid with Ron every morning. He'll walk through the door and I say, good morning, darling. And then, again, call out again to Mr. Doug and Sam and the boys. How's that mac and cheese, Bo? You like that mac and cheese?
Woohoo!
So we do want to thank all those folks, and just, we couldn't do what we do without people like these guys who really pour in a lot and want to see us. We've been sustaining for a while. Like I said earlier, this is like our 10th year starting, because we started in January 2014. And it's just, you allow us to get to do what we do. I had to use Doug's this time because my brain is all over the place right now.
Are you looking at this?
Yes.
Okay, that's not.
Yeah, I think so. We did want to mention real quick, and then if I could get Graham, if you wouldn't mind making your way up here. We were approached by a local auto spa, Tidal Wave out in Lawrenceville, but they are all across the country. Here, I'm dropping it down. They were all across the country, and they approached us about doing a fundraiser. And I'm kind of like, I don't want to sell car tickets, but the Tidal Wave, you can get a $30 car wash for $20, and then they're going to split half of it with us. So we get $10 for we sell. And they're nationwide. So we're going to put it online. We're going to put it out through social media. It's going to run starting today through the end of June. And for every car wash, we get $10. So it's pretty crazy. And they approached us. They said they love what we do. Each year they've done a charity day for us for the past 2 years. And we just wanted to give that a quick shout out. There's some flyers out in the lobby. And then a QR reader up there on the screen. But it was kind of a cool deal. $30 car wash for $20, and we get $10 of that just as a benefit. So I did want to, Graham graciously, when RAC Properties said, oh, by the way, we're not coming to go to Disney World, I said, hey, Graham, would you mind saying a few words? I'd really like to have someone say why they want to support us. So, Graham, thank you for...
Yeah, absolutely. Hello. Yeah, so, Graham Pierce. I'm with Axis Capital. We're based over in Alpharetta, and we do commercial lines insurance. So I got introduced to Michael and Tempa, I think about 6 or 9 months ago, through some other coworkers that came in and kind of shared their story with us and provided some, of course, wonderful treats. Just love what their mission was, their faith, their passion was so clear. Such a great story that, I think everyone, whenever they came in, we had about 100 employees, hear them share the story. I think everyone was so impacted that we obviously want to continue to support you guys. I was telling my wife, actually, just a few minutes ago that I haven't told you guys this, I was in a meeting a couple weeks ago, and we're going to have them come back and do something else at the office. And I brought it up to my team, like, hey, I think we might want to have special needs and treats come and participate, and maybe just have some food there. And they remembered you guys, though. Instantly, we're like, no, we don't want them to just have food. Like, we want them to talk, we want them to share their mission. So anyway, obviously you guys have made an impact, in the whole Atlanta greater area, and Axis is just proud to be a sponsor. Thankful for the opportunity to be blessed by you guys.
Thank you, Graham. Yeah, Axis is kind of crazy. They invited us out to talk about their thing and embraced us. We've been donated through their group a server rack for the IT geeks in the room, a couple of servers, all kinds of laptops and tablets and monitors and software and you name it. We're starting to get get loaded up so we can prep for the future, as well as monetarily now. And then they helped coordinate an event that we did where we handed out one small bag of chalk every 6 seconds for about 3 hours. Oh my. I got to the point where I was throwing them like a baseball to people in the crowd. It was crazy. We literally gave away over 3,000 bags, I think it was.
And anybody that works at special needs, what did we do when we got a box done? And because I believe it was 50 boxes, and so we'd say box number 1 done, box number 2 done. We had fun time with it.
Yeah, it was 3,000 bags, and it was paid for. They paid for it, so it was amazing. It brought exposure. We were at a huge event. And then, like Graham said, we've got another event that's going to come up where he's introducing us to about 65 business partners that they have. They blessed us with a membership to the Greater Forsyth County Chamber of Commerce, which y'all know we're in Lawrenceville, right? You know where Forsyth is, right? Well, they said, yeah, but you need to be here. So they're wanting us to get over there. They're wanting us to be embraced and share other folks with us.
And I can tell you, they have one of the coolest cafeterias I have ever seen. They have 2 water machines, and the water, you can pick flavored waters. You can pick sparkling water. You can pick this kind of water, and they have like 10 microwaves in this break room. And I mean, it's like something you'd see on TV. It's just crazy. They have an awesome building, and just so nice and friendly. It was very
It's
cool.
been amazing. You guys are awesome. We appreciate you partnering up with us. Just words can't describe it. But yeah, I thought that break room too was like
It doesn't take much to
only
impress
in
me,
the movie
guys.
or TVs. I didn't know they really existed until we went there. That
Yeah.
was awesome. But we do want to turn over to some things because I know, last year we tried not to talk as much. Last year, I know you guys loved how we had some panelists and we had a big Waha ask, which, Scooter, wow, Scooter and Teresa, that was amazing. But it taught us to do more. And I do want to call up our very first paid employee. When we started the bakery, we didn't know Austin had special needs. We just thought Austin was a great guy that knew the customers, loved to treat customers well, knew the systems and things.
And I also kept him because he knows how to make cake pops.
Yeah. That makes me hurt just thinking about it. But Austin was our very first paid employee, and come to find out, Austin actually had a diagnosis of Ehlers-Danlos, which we discovered there in that first year. There were some times that got really challenging.
I mean, there are probably better introductions to, I'm not feeling well today. By the way, if I fall on the floor, that's normal. Don't worry about it.
But I'm going to turn it over to Austin because he was paid. We quickly realized when I thought it was just going to be Temp and Bradley running the bakery, and I was going to work corporate and come in a little bit and help before and after. No, it was much bigger than that. And we needed someone like Austin who now has, I don't know if I'm stealing some of his thunder, but he is now our bakery manager, and that's a story in itself. Turn it over to Austin. I don't know what he's going to say. He might tell you how horrible the boss I am, how hard I am to work with, but it's all good because he's still here. And
I'd like to stay here, so I would not worry about that, Michael. Like you said, I ended up working at Special Needs and Treats almost by accident. I spoke, I think, at the first gala. Brief recap for the many of you who weren't there. Grew up, did great academically, worked really hard in school. In high school, I started to develop non-epileptic seizure-like episodes, which is a fancy way of saying you fall down on the floor, we don't know why. Pushed through, made it through high school, missed a lot of school, but I pushed through. I entered university in the honors program as a sophomore with all the college credits I got in high school, and a couple months in, got kicked out of college because they're like, medical liability. No thank you, goodbye. I spent a couple years going job interviews, couldn't get a job because I go into an interview and they're like, oh no, you're great, you're so qualified. Oh, why do you have a photo ID instead of a driver's license? Oh, well, I've got these seizures. Oh, okay. Thanks for coming and we'll see you later, bye. And after several years of that, I couldn't go to college where I had to stay in the dorm because of liability, so I was able to get a culinary degree most of the way. That's a separate story. But I got most of a culinary degree. I couldn't get an internship because nobody wanted to intern me. ended up working in a small bakery, and that bakery got bought out by Special Needs and Treats. So there's your little, God just got a plan, puts you where he needs you. And I learned there that the story that I had there, that's not unique. It's not even that rare. There are so many people who are held back because of a diagnosis, because there are words that say, this is a liability, this is a risk. And people don't want to take that risk. But working at Special Needs and Treats has provided me an opportunity to feel secure, to have a place to know I will be able to work hard, and by working hard, I will be able to achieve things. There will not be arbitrary limitations. The harder I work, the more I can achieve. And it might be harder for me in some ways, but the fact that I know that I can achieve something is a big deal. The fact that my lovely wife, I'm going to get a slide. There we go.
Oh, that's the better one, the kid in the cat box. Cat food.
My lovely wife, when we had our first child, right there, that we took him into the bakery before we even got home from the hospital. It was all the way back. Was able to leave her job to be full-time with the kids and then pursue a passion hobby to make money that was a little bit riskier, and we were able to rely on me making an income, which is not something I could have possibly imagined before. Especially after I'd gone into AFib and I was having heart problems and all these other issues. I never ever thought that I could have a secure, steady income and I could be that sort of reliable. But then something changed. If you want to go to that next picture. This is my wonderful son, Richard. So when I thought, okay, there's my progression, there's my growth, I've learned so much, Richard comes along. Richard just got his formal diagnosis with autism at age 4. We knew fairly early on something was a little different. But it started with, okay, well, his speech is a little behind, you just get him in speech therapy. And then, his motor skills are a little behind, we'll get him in occupational therapy. And he's got some sensory issues, and it just kept going and going. But now, Richard has autism. And I've worked with people like him. I've worked with so many people, and I've had the blessing of working with these people and seeing what they can do. And that tells me it's going to be hard raising a Richard. I'm sure a lot of you out there can sympathize. You have your own children. You know how it can be, and a lot of you have special needs because you know it's harder. But the fact that I know that there's a goal, there's an end goal, that there are opportunities. I don't just have to be like, I'm working so hard, I'm going through so much stress, and I don't know where it's going to go. And I don't know where it's going to go, but I know that there are options, there are choices. And as a parent, somebody who went through that, working really hard, not knowing if it could ever pay off, to have it pay off, and to have that opportunity to be able to look at my son and say, no, it's going to be hard. I'm going to have to work so hard. But I've seen this in so many other people. I've seen this opportunity. I've seen how much this means. And we're one building. Right now we have, like he said, just over 30 special needs on payroll. And maybe we can open another building and bring in another 30 and bring in some more. But what we're really doing is we're showing people, hey, that risk that you don't want to take, it's actually a great one. We went through an employment crisis where nobody could hire anybody. And we have a waiting list of people wanting to work for us. And so, what's bigger than just us employing people is us showing off what people can do and providing experience and seeing people move on to working for contractors or working in the library system or working other full-time jobs from what they learned here is so huge. And I cannot thank you guys enough for that opportunity. And everybody out there, if you work in a company and you had never thought, well, what can someone with special needs do here? I bet if you really looked at it, you could find something. And maybe it's something little and repetitive that takes just a couple hours a week. There are so many people who love to have that opportunity to be like, I get to come in for 3 hours a week and I get to file paperwork or sticker boxes or fold boxes or whatever little thing there is. it adds so much meaning and purpose, not just for the child, but for those who love that child, who want to see him succeed and give that opportunity. So yeah, if you have ever thought, well, I don't have a place. No, there's a place. You just haven't thought about it. So we're trying to bring people on, but I'm gonna turn around and challenge everybody that you can find a place where you work that could not only have a place for someone with special needs, but a place where they could excel, and that would benefit both of you. Working with special needs and treats us not one way. We're not just giving, we're receiving so much. And so I want everybody to realize how much we're getting back from what we do.
Amen. Thank you, Austin.
That was
Tristan, you want to make
amazing.
your way up here, sweetheart? Tristan, why don't you head this way, huh? We also wanted to get Austin up so you can get back there. He's the one who's going to be helping check you all out. He's the one who helps us with the recipes. He's our serve safe guy.
He is the reason that we have the cake mixes that we sell, because during
Figured
COVID,
it all out.
he was there. We had a lot of time on our hands because we didn't have a lot of people in, and he figured out those recipes for the cake mixes. I don't know how many different cake mixes we tried, how many different recipes we tried. And, but yeah, he figured that out because he does have that culinary degree. He knows the science behind it. I am a carrier of Fragile X. I did not do well in math, science, or English. That's why I have a Mike and an Austin, because I'm not good at those things. But yeah, so he's an awesome employee, and all the stuff that he figures out, it's really great. And this is Tristan.
What do you think of the look of that? Chickens. Yeah, I told her, think of something where everybody looks like a chicken. Because she told me she was a little scared, a little anxious, and I said, okay, we're just going to talk. The way we communicate at the bakery, this is going to give an example of that.
But I do have to let you know, she has one of the most important jobs at the bakery. Tristan works on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, and she is my dishwasher. And she is amazing at it. I do have to tell you that we had to have a talk with her sisters because she was literally, like working herself into a tizzy. So we have an alarm set on the phone. She takes a 15-minute break in the morning, a 15-minute break in the afternoon, and she takes her 30-minute break because she's like an Energizer bunny. And she loves her job. She's good at it. But we have to, it's like, Tristan, just calm down. We're good. But yeah, so.
And always the smile and this. This is what we get every day.
Every day.
It's awesome. I don't know if you all saw that slide up there. Tristan, last year, Tristan, at roughly this time, was a volunteer. And just like Stephanie, she's here somewhere. And a few others that are actually here tonight. There were 9 people as volunteers. And we said, we're taking a step of faith and we're going to bring them all on payroll. And we know God will take care of it. And God sent somebody else, who said Scooter and Teresa, and said, here, take care of that first year. And that was amazing. And of the 9, we still have 8 working. Natalie decided, she was the one who was my first web call from overseas. She decided to move on. I think she's doing missionary work with her family again. But Tristan, we wanted Tristan to come up because sometimes it's a little challenging for us to understand Tristan. And just wanted to let her, so I asked her if she would talk. And I asked her if she would share just a few questions that I prepared. They're not up on the screen. They're not her answers on the screen. I could have because, one of the things she told me, which I thought was awesome, was she doesn't like people to answer her questions. She doesn't like people to speak for her. She wants to speak for herself, right?
Yes.
So I'm going to give you this, and then I'm actually going to have Ms. Temple ask the questions.
Okay.
I'll come over on this side.
All right. So have you worked other jobs before special needs and treats? And how do they compare to your job at working with special needs? So have you had another job?
Yes.
It's on.
Yes. I used to work McDonald's, Bill's, and Isa.
She worked at McDonald's, and
Bill's.
Bells.
Yeah.
and then I think you told me you did some stride programs,
Yes.
right?
I did.
So how do you like this job versus the other job?
Well, but this time I get paid.
Hey, that is a honest answer because I understand Stride. You learn, but they don't pay you, so that's a big deal. Okay, where would you like to see yourself in the future, and how do you think working at Special Needs and Treats can help you with that?
Well, one day I wanted to mow house and then roommate and then waiting for sister.
I think she said she wants her own house, a roommate, but I thought she said boyfriend, and we struck that one out.
I do, but I
That's awesome.
yeah.
Okay, what do you enjoy most working at Special Needs?
Must I do the dishes? If you like a dishes, you get paid. That's the most.
And
It's okay.
The most still with myself is no dishes, you can't pay.
right. We can't do anything without you. If I do not have, and you know what Austin always tells you, if there's bowls back there, I need bowls. I need bowls. I need bowls.
Yeah,
And you've got that one down.
I did.
Okay. What are some of the jobs at Special Needs that you would like to try to do in the future?
Okay, shotgun.
Shotgun.
How do you make shotgun? Well, now my trade offer me to do that. So in the future, that's really what I want to do.
Okay, well, learn how to make that. And I can tell you, she wants to learn how to make the chalk horn, but I can tell you that she helps Leah, who does make the chalk horn. She knows how to get it out of the storeroom. She knows how to set it on the table. She knows how to get the bowls ready, the heating pad ready. She gets her apron for her rag. So she's almost there. She's just got a couple more steps, and you will be able to do it. But there are some times when we do have stuff that might just pop up, and I'm like, hey, Tristan, you want to try this? So what's one of the jobs that you've helped Jenny with making icing? Do you remember?
No. Oh, open the bottle.
And I know that doesn't sound like much, but when you are opening 80 sticks of butter, I mean, when you have someone that can stand there and open the butter and put it on a tray, it's amazing, and it helps that being done. And Jenny's back there shaking her head, you
He
know.
helped me to do more, what is the word? More,
Just more experience.
yes, more things.
Get more experience.
More different process I used to. More, you mow my coffee shop. I used to, but, yes.
Yep.
Awesome.
One of the things Tristan told me, because I wanted her to feel comfortable up here, because it's rough. Public speaking is one of the biggest fears people have. So yes, awesome. But one of the things that when I asked Tristan, what would she like to do, she said chalkboard, and I realized that she gets to help set everything up. Then she cleans all the dishes. She doesn't get to do the fun part. But she thinks the dish is the fun part. So it's cool. It's a win-win.
Yeah.
But one of the things was, as we work with Tristan, it's been, right at a year that, it's been longer than that 'cause she was a volunteer for a little while.
Yes.
But the communication part, I remember you telling me that one of the things you liked when we talked was, I listen.
Yes.
We don't make fun. People don't make poke fun because, speech challenges.
Yeah.
It's easy for people out there that don't understand. They just, what's she saying? What's going on? But it's been an amazing journey for us, hasn't it?
So if you get to know me, you listen,
Yeah, if we, yes, all we have, yes,
It's okay.
it's good. All she's trying to say is if people get the chance and the time to know her, and if you listen to her, you're going to figure out how to communicate with her. Because sometimes we do have a difficult time. Sometimes she gets her phone out, she'll get an emoji out. So we learn how to communicate. But that's one thing people ask us, how do you communicate? And I'm like, well, with any employee, any business you might work at, you have, each employee has something different. You have to talk to each employee differently. We all have our own skill sets, and you learn how to communicate with that person, that you have to take the time to listen. You have to take the time to get to know them and just learn their communication. And I'm telling you, this girl right here, just like everybody that works there, she will come to me and be like, what else can I do? I'm done with that. What else can I do? So we have great employees to work with.
And see, we also challenged, because I made sure, I asked Tristan, I said, are you sure? And she said, I'm going to be really nervous.
And she did it.
And, that's one of the things we kept trying. It doesn't matter when, it doesn't matter what. Anytime you walk through there and you look at Tristan, she's smiling.
She's smiling.
I'll even do one of these. I'll walk around the corner and go, and she'll look at me and go, what are you? I said, just smile. She's amazing. Just like we have some amazing employees. And,
In fact, right now, can I get all of my employees to stand up? If you can. If not, just raise your hand. If you can, just raise your hand. These are all the amazing people we get to work with day in and day out. They are baking your cupcakes. They are folding towels. They are stickering. They are working up front. They are decorating cakes. They are doing orders. You name it, they do it. Joseph just drives the, craziness out of you. That's his number one skill.
He knows
He's
how to
very
push these
good.
buttons.
He's very good at it. Come on up, Jenny.
yeah, we're going to bring up, now we'd like to invite Jenny Moz up to the stage. And Jenny is our last paid employee. So we thought what we do at the 5-year mark is we got our first paid employee, we got our kind of midstream employee, but that was such a big impact of turning 9 volunteers into employees. That was huge for us, and that was one of the biggest asks I've done in a while. And trying to get better at that. I've been told I have to get forceful and better, so it's coming. We're not there yet, it's coming. But what we thought we'd do is get Jenny to come up and say a few words, because Jenny is our newest employee, and Jenny's job is to pretty much make me irrelevant.
It'll be a while. But we're working on it.
My thing to say is Jenny's job is to get all of this out and onto paper.
So, Jenny joined us back in June.
July.
It was July, yeah, and full-time, and yes, helping with training manuals, standard operating procedure manuals, but here lately, because of some change, she's really getting into numbers and using math like she never thought she'd do math before, right?
Yes.
So with that, again, not sure what Jenny might have to say. She's still here, so I haven't run her off yet, but she's an amazing lady, and I'm excited to see what she has to say about the experience.
Good evening, everybody. Yeah, it's kind of weird being over 50 and a newbie again, but it's been great working there. A little bit about myself. I moved over from Alabama. I have a twin sister, and she had moved here and called me up one day and said, I really need a roommate. So I said, I really need a job. So she got me interviews at another place. I was a graphic designer for a while, and God kind of moved my path around a little bit from different jobs, which eventually led here. One of the jobs was I was an artist teacher at a painting party where I met two of my now co-worker friends, and we got to know each other, and Chelsea actually became a roommate. She moved in with us, and my painting party job kind of took a nosedive because of COVID. So I ended up getting another job. Well, my husband wasn't very happy with that because he wanted me to kind of be at home at nights. And so I turned around and said, well, Chelsea, is the bakery hiring? And she goes, let me check. And the next day, she brought me an application. So a couple days after that, I went in for an interview. And I have to say, that was probably my worst interview I've ever done. Anything that could go wrong did go wrong for me that day. My printer was not talking to my computer. I could not print out a resume. When I tried to go to the printer to print out a resume, their printer wasn't working, which in turn, I was late for the interview. And my friend and now coworker was much pointed out as I was walking in, "Hey, you're here, you're late." I smile and try to go on. So yeah, and then after I got shown around have you been to the bakery? It's awesome. It's really neat what they've done with that place and what they're doing to it. But after the tour, we went back and we talked, and I'm like, I tried to bring the resume. It's on the zip drive. If you want to pull it off and print it out, which he did. And to my chagrin, it was the wrong resume. It was actually the full, I keep all my jobs on one resume so I can, pull off little details for what I'm doing. And yeah, he got the full load. And so he goes, "Oh, interesting reading." And he's like, "Well, it looks like you're a little overqualified for the job I was offering. But I think we could find you a spot." Well, we did, and it's been really fun. The atmosphere there is just so unlike any other places I've worked. You feel like family. And I mentioned that when we had a Christmas party, and all the people came, and it was like everybody was just so friendly and so heartfelt. And most of the time when you go to those kind of things, you're just sitting back, listening and waiting. But these people are just so sincere, and the people that help it's just one big happy family. Everybody's helping each other out. It's really great. I brought notes, and I haven't used them yet.
While you're checking those notes, just a reminder, the auction does close at 8:30. I know we got a little engrossed. Sorry, I get a little behind, you know me. But it will close at a hard 8:30. We have too many things to go in and one by one extend them. So it does close at 8:30. You should be getting text. I know I've been outbid on 4 things while I'm up here. So, but it does close at 8:30. Please go ahead.
Okay, just a closing remark.
March notes.
I got my notes. I have to write everything down because I've been learning so much. It's been incredible. He has really been challenging my brain, and it's been awesome. It's hurt a little bit sometimes, but hopefully I'm catching up to it. So yes, as I said, the people there, the workers. I mean, how often can you go into your job and you're greeted not just with a "hey there," but a heartfelt smile, a fist bump, high five, and even a hug. I mean, that's just awesome. But we do have bad days. There's times when people get frustrated, patience gets tested, but and as Michael once quoted, we must be doing something right if we got some of these things going wrong. Yeah, we're always going to be tested and tried, but they are doing things right. Their outreach programs, and the most important thing is that they're giving people hope, independence, goals, dignity, and a sense of community by giving us jobs. And I'm not just talking about special needs. I'm talking about all of us, me included. I feel very privileged to be working for this company. So thank you. And thank you all for coming out tonight.
Okay, well, I am a little behind if you're looking at your little schedule there, but we would love to show, I think the guy always got it queued up here. We want to show real quick one of the main reasons of our programs, and that's those cakes for the kiddos. So guys, would you roll that video real quick so I'll attempt to shorten some things up and get back on track here.
Hi there, my name is Laura Drake and I am the director of the Southeast Gwinnett Cooperative Ministry. And it is my honor and privilege to speak to you on behalf of Special Needs and Treats Bakery. As director of the Southeast Gwinnett Co-op, we see a lot of folks that come through that are struggling. And it is such a joy to be able to offer them the lavish love of a birthday cake for their child. The majority of who we serve are single mamas and some single dads, and they have trouble paying their light bill, much less having a birthday for their kids. And as parents, we all know how important that is. So what a joy when we're sitting with someone and we see it's their child's birthday to be able to offer them a cake from a bakery that is custom made for their kiddo with the name on there. It is such a wonderful experience, and I'm just so very grateful to Tempa and to Michael and to all the folks that make it possible. I know you know somewhat because you get to see it when they pick it up, but we have the honor of offering this precious gift, and we're just so grateful.
Hi, I'm Ashley Sotomayor. My family is a foster family through Uniting Hope for Children. And one of the things that we loved about Special Needs is that their nonprofit side, they donate cakes to foster children. So the children that have come into our home and have celebrated birthdays, I haven't had to worry about getting them a cake. Every year they would just call and say, it's time, you can call Special Needs. The cake was always ready. And one of the great things about kids with special needs is that they were able to provide cakes to these kids who may not have received a birthday cake ever, and they do this for all the kids that are in foster care through their partnership with Uniting Hope for Children. As a family, it was just really great because we were able to celebrate, like for our son who we have now adopted, for each of his birthdays there was that pressure, his first birthday, that I've got to make this right. He's not my son, but I want to make sure I do his mom justice and his birthday for his first birthday. And it was just always great to know that the cake was there and we could offer it to the bio family as, hey, here's, come have cake. And it was always good. And just the party, we kind of centered it around that with the family. So it was just, it made his birthday special for him too. And his mom, yeah.
Hello, my name is Angela Valenzuela, and I have been a foster parent with UH4C, Uniting Hope for Children, for over 3.5 years. And our current placement is a 4-year-old daughter, and she has been with us over 3 years and celebrated 3 birthdays with us. And Special Needs and Treats has graciously and generously provided birthday cakes for her for all 3 of those birthdays, and we are very grateful. And it's really hard to put into words how much the birthday cakes mean to us. It's more than just us not having to financially buy a birthday cake. When one of my children has a birthday, it's a joyful occasion, and we have a lot of memories that we delight in. We rejoice about the future. But with a foster child, you don't have those memories, and the future is unknown. And so there's a lot of emotions involved when you're celebrating a foster kid's birthday. In addition to that, because of the unknown element of it, there's a tendency to want to make the day absolutely perfect. And if you've ever had a birthday party for a child, you know that does not happen ever. It's never perfect. And so that adds to the stress of the occasion. So having Special Needs provide a birthday cake for us, for her, takes off this huge, big burden, and it's just one thing that we don't have to worry about on that day.
It is some amazing artists, and we get so blessed to have Lauren every Sunday at church. You ever want to hear her sing, just come to church on Sundays. But we chose light, and there's so many verses about light. And now we're going to lead into those asks. So we've got our 5th annual gala, we got 5 basic asks. They're going to grow in intensity just like the light, just like the candle, just like the fire. So our first ask, the guys are going to throw it up there, is that Cakes for Kiddos program. COVID tried to shut it all down, and the co-ops couldn't give them out and everything else, but it's ramping back up. We're going like crazy. We're trying to get more partners. For every $12, you can make sure a kid gets a cake, and currently we're partnered with 16 organizations, and we're hoping to double that over the next 2 years. So that's like the first little flash, the match. $12, give a kid a cake. Okay, ask number 2, we're gonna jump right in, and I'm speeding over some of these, but we're on a roll here. So number 2 is that volunteer wait list. We're up to 151 on the wait list again. Last year was amazing. We took 9 volunteers, turned them into employees, but we actually started calling the first few on the list. Can't remember how many truly we got through, but we did ask them there as guests. So some of them are here tonight as guests, but we've got a few of them up here on the screen I want to call attention to as we go through. And we asked them, what would it mean for you to get an opportunity to work at special needs? So, Jose Edmonds, who was on the wait list at number 89 in July of 2015. Okay, we're doing what we can. Do for one what you wish you could do for all. We're doing for 30 what we wish we could do for the other 151. Tonight he's number 1. I don't know if Jose's in the house, but we've invited him here to join dinner with us. Let's go to our next one on the list was Uhuru in Jorge. I probably butchered that. I am so sorry. But I think it's Uhuru. I think I got that right. He was number 106 on the waiting list in March of 2016. Number 2 tonight. And when asked, he said, I love baking. Loves the baking. So our next one that we had that we called was Alyssa. I know Alyssa's in the house. I saw her. Alyssa used to play ball with Bradley. Been on the list for a while. She was number 135 in April of 2016. Now she's number 5. Now I know some of those numbers might look weird. Well, if she was number 135 and you only have 30 employees, what's going on with the middles between people move? You heard stories before if you joined here. Some of the people passed away. Some people are actually working now, and some people just don't want to work. But we're going through, and we're cleaning up. But she said she wants to be challenged by working in a real bakery. So that was the thing there, and there's a picture of Miss Alyssa. And we have Elizabeth Camp. I know Miss Mary, that was one of her students. She's here tonight, and she was number 136 in June of 2016, and number 6 on the list tonight. So then we have Sasha. I see you, girl. Sasha and I go way back. Sasha was on Bradley's baseball team in the very beginnings, I think way back. South Gwinnett ball field, I think, is where we actually started. But Sasha was number 138 in June of 2016. We're a year closer, but still 2016. That's how many years? It's 2023, guys. But she's number 7 tonight. She wants to socialize, I can't believe that, and work with people her age and feel more independent. Miss Independence there. All right, and next we got Josiah Rodriguez. Didn't get a chance to meet. If he's here and I haven't met you yet, I apologize, we will meet. But was number 146 on the wait list in June of 2016, number 9 tonight. He just wants to meet new people. And Stephen was going to be here. I've known Stephen for a long while too. Stephen's a trip. Stephen Wagner, he was number 148 on the wait list in July of 2016. He's number 11 tonight. And he just wants to work and have a job. Stephen's mama got sick. Stephen couldn't make it. I know they're not here tonight. That was a last minute call that we got. Michaela, I know you're in house. I saw you, girl. She really had to get down. It was almost like I was getting ready to propose or something, because I was down on one knee, trying to get her to, give me 5. I think she was a little embarrassed for us to finally meet, because I hadn't met Michaela before. But August of 2016, she was number 160. Tonight, she's number 14. She just wants a purpose in life and actually has little opportunities to work. A couple of our folks are in wheelchairs as well, which y'all know the old bakery. We couldn't get in the kitchen. Now we got 6 wonderful workstations, everything widened up, wheelchair and walker access. So, Tori, I see you back there. He works and he's got his shirt on too. But that's Michaela. I think that was it, right, guys? Is that all the folks that we had? So our next slide, I think actually is, yes, Miss Mary and Mr. Sandy have a little surprise tonight. So just like last year, we took a little step of faith. This year, we're taking another step of faith. All those folks right there on that list and a couple more. Miss Mary and Sandy are walking around. They're giving them their first special needs t-shirt, their hat, the job application, and a little sheet on the back of that says the next steps. And the next steps are, over the next week, we're going to get them a call, get them in for an official interview, check what their schedule is, find out what days they can work, what the abilities are, not the disabilities, and we're going to find where we're going to fit them in, and they're coming to work as volunteers. So you see, just wanted to be here so we could do that surprise right here. They didn't know that. They didn't know that we were going to give them their first official stuff and say, all right, now we're going to figure it out. You're coming to work. Our goal is we're going to put 10 to 12 folks to work off the list. We're going to find something. We're going to figure it out because God will make it happen. He always does. You know, sometimes this is the point where people say, well, what's that going to run? Okay, well, last year, 9 folks to get on, it was 30 grand. I do have a couple of numbers I did want to share just because to put things in perspective, and where'd my big papers go? Here we go. I don't know if y'all know, but our annual payroll with 34 employees, 30 of which have some type of diagnosis, is $365,000 a year. That's $30,000 a month for, where you at, man? Mandy, they said she was the math person. Mandy's great too, Mandy and Chad. But basically for 10 new people to be paid is around 30 to 50 grand is the average. It depends on the hours. Some can only work 2 hours, some can work 20, some can work 40. We do what we can with what we have. So it's 30 to 50 to put 10 folks on. To maintain, right now, all the folks is about $30,000 a month. That's huge. That's huge. But nothing is bigger than our God. And I got several folks here in the room that have helped me fully understand that.
And it says in the Bible, you do not have because you do not ask.
You do not have because you do not ask. So that's our second ask is that, hey, you want to make a difference? For every 12 bucks, no, sorry, that was the case. Minimum wage is $7.25 still. They haven't upped that thing. When they up it, look out. But $7.25 an hour is minimum wage. So for basically every $8, that's an hour of special needs. And that's just huge for us. But, you know, with that, like I say, that's our budget. That's what we do is we're at $365,000 a year. These guys are going to come in as volunteers so we can make sure we get the right fit. We can get the right modes and get the schedules worked out. And then as soon as that money rolls in, that's when we try and move for employment. So beyond that, you know, like I said, they get bigger and bigger. Now we're going to move to, I think we're moving into ask number 3, because that was one of the biggest announcements was, we're getting you guys in. We're going to get started, guys, and we'll figure it out. God's got a plan, and y'all are part of it. So I wish all the folks we had called could have been here tonight, but they're still getting called. So we'd ask this almost every year, you know, for us to grow and expand. We are looking at getting a truck. Mr. Doug did a trip from coast to coast on a bicycle. Not me. But he literally rode on his bike for like 49 days, a couple of breaks here and there, lost a whole bunch of weight. I think he found it all again. Sorry, Doug. But one of the things he did was he raised a little over $3,000 for us towards a truck. Truck's roughly 48 grand. Really depends. It goes up, it goes down. What are you looking for?
If Doug tried to raise all the money on a bike, I don't think he'd be here. There wouldn't be anything left of him. He would just keep losing weight and losing weight. He's going to need some help.
But basically the concept, wheels for wheels.
Yeah.
But the truck really is to feed into that future vision. Where the facility we have now, production, training, start expanding, going to need a truck to get equipment here and there, product here and there, what have you. You know, 14, 16-foot box truck, maybe with a reefer. So that's kind of a big ask, not 48 grand. Okay, so then ask number 2 is where, wow, we really start jumping out there on a limb. Do y'all remember Ian? Some of you who were here, Ian Pierce, I see heads shaking. I know Randall, you remember it because you had a great conversation with him, coached him through, and then that crazy stuff happened where unfortunately he couldn't. But Ian gave a presentation. He was one who started with us, who had sensory issues, didn't like talking to people, worked his way up, was full-time, did every job in the bakery, started going to school, got his degree in environmental spatial analysis, I can finally say that. He did a little project for his school, and one of his projects was, where should we go? What should we focus on? And he focused on all these little places where there's Title I schools, there's other food co-ops and pantries, foster care groups and things like that. One of the targets that he pointed out, you see all the white dots and then the reds of the cities. You see all that cluster of white off over there, a little above, you know, where we're at Lawrenceville, kind of off there to the up and to the left is Duluth. So our next big ask is that we pinpoint Duluth and honor Ian and do a storefront. Well, a storefront right now, those who are in the real estate know that, what are you talking, 24 bucks a square foot is probably pretty reasonable right now. It might be, you know, up and down. But at that, to do a storefront on a lease for a year with some equipment, and people and things like that, and permits and this, that, and the other, you're probably looking at 250 to 300,000. I've actually done some numbers, some base numbers. They're a little rough, but that was a pretty good average that I fell into. And then, it's like, okay, well, you said 5 asks. Oh, wow, what are you going to do above that? Well, honestly, we've been sustaining, and it's been amazing, but we have to thrive. Okay, sustaining is one thing, but to grow and to impact these special needs and the 151 folks that want to work. Our biggest ask is a full bakery. Why in Bogart? Well, there's a reason behind that, and that's a huge number. But there's actually a property down in Bogart that our presenting sponsor, who's been with us 5 years, it wasn't Axis, it was RAC Properties, they came to us and said, hey, it's time for y'all to grow. And you need to come to Bogart, because that's where I'm at. And I got a daughter with special needs, and she needs to work there. So there's a little bit behind it. And he said, you know what, I got this property, come look at it. And he said, we need to figure out how this is going to work. And then, Rob and Cindy couldn't be here tonight. They're in Disney World. But, I said that earlier. But Rob and Cindy said, we're excited about the possibility of Special Needs and Treats expanding their presence to the Athens area. So basically, a mini one of us. I've had that hub and spoke idea where we're a production and training, little storefronts to feed out of. There's a template, put it over here. There's another template. But Rob said, make a bunch of hubs. Then work on your stores. Start feeding it. Use those to really pump into the areas. And Athens is a pretty big area to pump into. Athens, Watkinsville, Monroe, et cetera, et cetera. But he said, expanding their presence to the Athens area, we would like to offer up a challenge to the audience. If Special Needs and Treats decides to move forward with the extension on the corner of Highway 78 and Ruth Jackson Road, we will contribute a matching donation up to $20,000 for the funds raised tonight toward the new site. That's Rob and Cindy. They're nuts. They're crazy. But they love us. They love special needs. But they said, that's what they want to focus towards. They said, it's time for you to grow. It's time for you to make a bigger difference, and we want to be a part of that. I don't know the way it's going to head, and I know all of these things that we're asking can't be done possibly, well, I shouldn't say that. Nothing's above God. But there's a lot of asks. That's $1 million when you're talking about buying property, getting zoning, pouring the parking lots, the gutters, doing the retention ponds, doing all that work, build outs. It's huge, those who know. But that's crazy, and what's crazy to me is to do that there, the corner where we're at now, that little appliance shop and the empty lot right beside us, they want $1.1 million for both of them. It's a little big thing. And this would be like a mini version of us to feed out like that. So that's a huge ask, that's a huge goal. That could be maybe that flashlight goal for now, to where each of you has different networking circles. That perhaps people who want to get involved. We can put challenges out, we can help, just spread the word. Put us in front of them. Give me an opportunity to talk to them, show them who we are, what we do, get them involved, get them in our bakery, and let's see. So that was the big 5 asks, and that's a lot to take in. A lot to take in. And I know some of y'all just used that opportunity to totally outbid me because my phone was going nuts. But that's okay, you just saved me some money. Bradley, sorry, I don't think I got your duck call, buddy. You'll have to meet Willie yourself. But that's where we want to do, and your auction, you can pay by your phone, give us some time to finish that up. But with those big asks, and we got the challenge from RAC, I did want to ask Lauren and Brandon if they would please come back up and give us some more of that amazing, wonderful voice so we can kind of soak it in. And their songs, like the first one, are around light, and us being a light in the community, us being a light for others. So, just want to give you all a chance to just hear that.